Symbiotic Cities is a regenerative design framework that seeks to use the art of making as a social catalyst.
To start, a story. Sam the squirrel takes nuts from the old oak as food for his family, damaging the bark as he goes. So over time, the oak retaliates by filling the nuts with toxins to deter Sam. But he's a smart squirrel and learns to bury the nuts first so they can be detoxified by rainwater. Sam gets nuts to eat and new oak trees are planted. Symbiosis is achieved. Symbiosis is not simple, right? It's more likely to emerge from conflict than utopia. It's all about balance.
London is out of balance and fragmented, facing issues including unsustainable rent, vacant properties, ageism, loneliness, inequality and unfulfillment. Our research has highlighted three particularly neglected user groups: the over 65s, low-income creatives and young adults. Even before the pandemic, 40% of older people stated their main source of company is their TV. 27% of Londoners are living under the poverty line. 1 in 3 London youth clubs are on the brink of closure. Social isolation is costing the NHS an astonishing £5.2 billion per year, and London tenants on average spend nearly half their salary on rent. Yet, despite all this, £123 billion worth of property still sits vacant across the UK.
We're interested in the mutual benefits of connecting these groups through the art of making as a catalyst for community-wide symbiosis that builds resilience against urban issues. However, gentrification is already commodifying creativity in Hoxton for the short term, so we're proposing a phased symbiotic framework to make sure creativity is here to stay.
The testbed for the framework is Haggerston Baths, a red brick icon embedded in local memory as a community asset, but left to ruin for decades. Several attempts to convert it to co-working offices have been rejected for their indifference to context, so it remains a drain on council funding.
The framework has 4 practical phases, bookended by softer phases that seek to anchor the framework in the context it is applied. Phase now is initiation. This phase gets the ball rolling by selecting the site, employing local outreach curators, and establishing a business improvement district to gather local support and credibility. It is crucial to acknowledge and value the insights of local residents and the ways that they can help guarantee meaningful engagement within the project. A co-housing development is proposed as a core feature of the Symbiotic City and will be initiated at this stage in the form of a community of interest.
Phase 1 is engagement. At Haggerston Baths, Phase 1 will occur over roughly 12 months, beginning with the activation of the old laundry, a large space at the corner of the bathhouse. Free workspace will be offered to 10 craftspeople willing to convert it to their needs. Laburnum Street will be made a shared surface avenue, and the garages to the east renovated for our outreach curators to hold events tailored to engaging their neighbours, perhaps a portrait photography exhibition or a bring and buy street party. At no point will change happen behind closed doors.
Phase 2 is activation. It sees the workshop grow into the larger spaces behind, initially hosting craftspeople who are employed on the next phase of renovation. They'll be working on a light touch renovation of the existing pool hall into which we've named the street. A sort of public square made attractive and nuanced through the introduction of studio pods on multiple levels. These will be aimed primarily at startup craft businesses, which will be able to reach customers directly from their workplace.
Phase 3 is realisation and addresses the need for supportive and affordable living for both older people and creatives in Hoxton. The modular co-housing design will be malleable to the individual needs and preferences of the residents. CLT frames will be prefabricated within the on-site workshop, forming the roots of a continued symbiotic relationship. In a process modelled on new ground co-housing in High Barnet founded by Ouch, this aspect of the project will be realised through a developer.
Phase 4 is the handover. Construction on the bathhouse reaches a formative conclusion with the addition of the play shop, the most informal of the workshop spaces. The cozy studio and rooftop courtyard form an enriching space for after-school crafts clubs, summer arts programs, and beginners classes. The main workshops will transition away from construction and welcome a more diverse range of makers, artists, and craftspeople. A key symbiotic exchange is realized, with creatives able to give their time to teaching classes and upkeeping the building in return for cheap workshop hire.
Phase Future involves self-sustaining outreach. The intention is that throughout these phases, a gradual handing over of agency and authorship of the bathhouse to all those who use it will have occurred, grounded in the workshop and co-housing, and embodied in the street. The network of people involved in realising the scheme over the years should see it as an extension of their own sense of home. Relationships forged in the bathhouse naturally spill out into everyday lives. Making becomes normality, and strangers become neighbours.
And so, we would like to welcome you to a day in the life of Symbiotic Haggerston.
The symbiotic city is not a closed system. The idea is for the scheme to be constantly reaching out to the members of the wider community through events such as this repair shop, led and sustained by Symbiosis. Their bathhouse is perfectly situated near several large schools, creating a bridge of enriching public realm between them.
"10 a.m, the bench is sanded. Open bifolding doors on every side. The space is wide, with beautifully crafted chairs drawing people inside. Steams rise out of the kettle's mouth as John and Honey prepare their hot drinks to sit on the terrace of the co-housing. The birds sing and rallies of people gather in the streets to buy and sell crafts to their heart's content. Something old and something new. This space brings new memories of what Haggerston can be. 3 p.m, school is out. Finishing up an online sewing class, Tracy prepares her workspace ready for the next day. "Hey, how are you doing?" one of the children asks. "I'm okay, thank you, lovely," as Tracy takes off her mask. The street welcomes students, an abode for rest. Students inside are free to try the apparatus built to help them thrive. A knock here, a stroke of paint there. A beautiful gift from Raheem, we have a chair. 6:30 p.m, the heart still beats, with an art class by the residents to the elderly neighbours they meet. Abstractions of paint, hand gestures and laughter. Families gather for a film that at least does not end in happily ever after, because the streets keep going. Students from Mouth That Roars showcase their unique piece on the screen. The steps are warm, the seats are smooth, to capture every single move. Yoga classes take place in the synthesis of space at Centre 151. Left open, Ade and Karis desire to keep fit. Zumba classes in collaboration with others. 10 p.m, no curfew. Exhibition shop and cafe turned into a pop-up bar to take the night away. Locals, creatives, elderly, students, what can you say? Gran is dancing, letting her hair out. Music, noticeable lyrics, some on beat, some skipping a beat, but it doesn't stop the energy passing through our feet. It's not the end, for tomorrow we meet.